Live from PATV Studios, it's the LyleStyle Show. And now, the man with the most style, it's your host, LyleStyle.
I want to welcome everybody to another LyleStyle Show. Oh man, this is one of my best shows right here. I say it, but I really mean this time because, you know, I'm here with two greatest people of all. I'm here with Stroh. I'm here with Josh Goding. They both are Al's the creator and the producer and director of Moon03. And Josh is here. He's the director. He's the special effects and everything. Both these two men did a great job, and we're going to talk about Moon03. So I want to thank you, Al. Welcome, man. Welcome to LyleStyle Show.
I want to thank you for being in it.
Yep, welcome both of y'all.
I want to thank you for participating. For the folks at home, Lyle is also in the project, and he just came in and did a great job for us as Dr. Van Gelder.
Yes.
You know, and I remember specifically, you know, I'm sort of a townie, and I've lived inside and outside of Iowa City, Lyle, and I remember your show from back in the '90s,
wow,
the old LyleStyle show. And I remember watching that, and I remember Rudy Poo comics and the DI and stuff.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I've known about you for a long time.
Yes, you did.
As a local media sort of celebrity.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, part of the project was that I wanted to involve a lot of these people, the faces you see at PATV, such as Abasu and some other folks that are down here a lot. You know. But I wanted to have that sort of local flavor. And so that's why, originally, when I wrote the part, that was your part. I kind of envisioned him as sort of this sort of beach bum guy who was kind of spaced out. And so we had, I think Nick came in and did it, and it was close. Nick did a good job. He actually had your part for a while.
Okay, yeah.
He did a good job, but ultimately we felt that we needed someone with a little more gravitas, I think, attached to it. You know. Not that you're old, but you know what I mean. You're a little. He's in his he's in his 20s. Yeah, and we need like a scientist type of a guy.
Yeah, he did a good job in the other.
So that's when we started kicking around you, and I thought about it. And the more I thought about it, I was like, you know, I think you'd do good. I think you'd do good. I think, and you've done just a fantastic job.
Well, thank you. I mean, when you came up to me, I thought maybe I said, now is this am I being punked here or something? Because what? Or is the camera? Because he asked me to be in a movie or whatever. I cannot act. I don't know nothing about acting. You know, I thought maybe Josh put up to, hey, why don't you fool Lyle right fast? Just ask him whatever, you know. So I thought maybe y'all was, you know. So, but when you were serious, I was amazed and I was real nervous about it, and I'm so pleased honored that you even had me doing this for you, doing that character, Dr. Van Gelder, and. I mean, I know I look a little funny, the man with the bar.
Right, we had
Where'd you come up with those costumes from, man?
That's funny,
I want to find out.
Well, originally it was like, you know, like I said, we wanted you to look a little older than you even actually are, and so I get it. It was actually the Jay Leno wig, is what that is.
Oh,
but
really?
What I did was I cut the top off of it, and so we kind of had this kind of Einstein.
Yes, you did.
You know, kind of wild hair as the scientist, you know, and you know. Everybody, and I remember you had a little issue with that first. You kind of came out of the bathroom and you had this hair sticking out the side of your head, and you're like, "What?
Where's the top?
Yeah, is this really what you guys want me to look like?" You know. And the thing is, it's like Moon03, it's like everybody kind of has to be a caricature. It's kind of almost like a cartoon where you need all the characters to have a very distinct look, so that the people right away can get who they're supposed to be.
Okay.
And so that's kind of where the look for Van Gelder came from, was just the fact that, you know, that wild hair kind of right off the way you're identified as kind of a Doc Brown kind of scientist.
Right, with glasses. And
I think the whole thing has become a lot funnier than I thought and expected, and even when we get to see it screened in front of an audience, I realized how funny some of the stuff is.
Yeah, you got to laugh every single line.
Oh, did you?
You got a big laugh.
Oh, no, I didn't.
So it could be the next time, though, we can do it. Well, that's the one we had a public showing at the Mill that went really, really fantastic.
I know, man. Well, you know, y'all had at least about 60 to 70 people come there.
Absolutely, and, you know, I think we had to call in some staff, I was hearing, so it was kind of even bigger than they were planning on. And some of the nicest comments from that night were from the staff that got called in. There was a couple of weight help, some of the weight help was like, oh man, when I got the call today, I was so bummed out that I had to come into work, but I actually came into work and had a great time and really had fun.
Yeah.
And these are people that watch live bands and stuff all the time. They were more entertained, I think, by this. And you know, it really does connect with people, I think. How did you feel when you first saw it?
I felt it was amazing to see myself doing it and see the special effects that Josh put in and how he put the special effects in, and see, you know, how y'all had me walking around talking. And I mean, it looked like I was thinking about a Doctor Who type of feel.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
But I'm a black guy. But it's a black guy.
Right. No, and that's, and I'll tell you something, Lyle. That's something that's important to me. You know, I care about race relations in this country a lot. I know Josh does too.
Oh yeah, no.
And it was important to me that in this movie, I wanted people to be able to watch it. And you know, we were talking about this earlier. You're a fan of the original Star Trek.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the original Star Trek. I think Star Trek is a great example of a show where African Americans and white folks, they both were given sort of equal share in the stakes and stuff like that. I know that
we had Asians in there too.
Yeah, and I wanted everybody to be able to come and kind of see themselves in this project. So that's why the more I thought about you and the role, the better I liked it, because originally it wasn't a role for a African American guy. It was originally, like I said, it's kind of a surfer beach bum type, right? But the more I thought about it, I thought this is great because we've got A.C. Earl in it.
Yeah.
As you know, he used to play center for the Celtics back in the 90s. Huge guy, you know. But he's kind of playing sort of, in his own words, the Jabba the Hutt role, sort of the gangster kind of. You know, and he's very smart and very capable, but maybe not the most positive representation. We have the females covered because we have beautiful Kim Magbull in there.
She does
and she is a woman of color who is just gorgeous, but she also plays a very strong, capable, powerful, intelligent person. And then we have you in there as well, and you kind of also add this voice of, you give us an African American representation of somebody that is a scientist, you know, math guy, smart, knows his stuff, again, you know, capable, and a very positive portrayal just to put out there for the general public to see, you know. Part of the reason why I wanted to do Moon 03 is that, to me, it's kind of a critique on what I see out there in the media right now and the kind of shows I wish I saw more of.
Okay.
There's a lot of sex, there's a lot of violence, there's a lot of negative stereotypes and portrayals and people at each other's throats, et cetera, and I really wanted to present a story that was kind of more in that sort of 70s, 80s, 60s, 50s style of television storytelling where a little bit slower paced and just a more positive sort of outlook.
And like the original Star Trek, or maybe Roddenberry's vision where the future is diverse.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Everybody comes along with, you know.
Right. And he did a good job with that back in the year. He had his thinking of how he created that with different people, characters, bringing everybody together as a melting pot. Because I love the series Star Trek, so Moon 03. I mean, now, what made you think of the title for the movie?
Well, Moon 03. There's actually an old science fiction movie from the '60s called Moon 02, and it's sort of a riff on that a little bit. But to me, Moon 03 just sort of sounds like it's sort of technological in a way that they sort of addressed things in the late '60s, and it sounded sort of high tech at the time, but it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense in and of itself. So. Part of
some of the futuristic ways that they would do things like just the simple thing of writing out Moon 03 and spelling out the word 3 instead of
right. You know, and so it's just I guess what I've said before, and it's kind of bad in the right way.
Oh, okay.
See, everything in Moon 03 is meant to be just a little bit, you know, heightened.
Yeah.
And we know that it's a silly thing. We know that ultimately it's just a show. But we've done a great, but just because you're making something that's silly and is supposed to be a little bit, quote unquote, cheesy looking, doesn't mean that you can't give it your all, give it 100%, and really do it right, do it up correctly. And so that's what I think people really respond to is all that.
Oh, they do. I got a lot of people come to where I work at. Ask me, when move. Now, we're going to talk a little briefly about this, okay? Now, you and Josh, y'all seem like y'all best friends.
Right.
I mean,
we are best friends.
How in the heck did y'all got a bond?
Right.
Y'all really do. You can tell y'all got a bond with each other. And, you know, what made you even come up to even have Josh involved in the project?
When I first started, I moved back to Iowa City in, I think it's about 2009 now, so it's been a few years. But one of the things I knew is moving back to this town is I realized, remembering from living in a big city, I was living in Portland before that for several years. And, you know, one of the things I remembered about Iowa City was the facilities at PATV and the fact that they did have a good PATV station. I've always been interested in film, and so one of the things I said to myself is, okay, if I'm going to move back to this small town, I'm going to take advantage of this. I'm going to learn about this and really start creating some film and sort of scratching that itch that I've had. I've wanted to sort of get into film my whole life and create something like this my whole life. And so I started off on a Hawkeye talk show with John Bacon, who's now principal of City High.
Okay, yeah.
And that was, you know, that was quote unquote a hit for what it was. You know what I mean? That did very well. You know, and even then, I was trying to sort of subversively shove these science fiction elements into it. I had all these weird ideas about the Hawks and how we were going to have this like robot that didn't like the Hawks and all this kind of stuff. And that really never came to fruition completely because, well, for various reasons. But then I started thinking, you know, I was looking around at all this fantastic equipment, all these fantastic computers, and the technology has come so far.
Yes.
Because I remember PATV back from the early 90s when it was in the library.
Exactly, I do. And so it was.
I was interested even in it back then, 20 years ago, but the technology wasn't there to do something like this on a local level.
Right.
Now it is, because now you can use the digital compositing software to put together these multi-layered scenes. Right. It just takes a long time.
Yes, it does.
Well, I have time.
Okay.
You know, I have time.
And
the will.
And the will. And so what I started doing was that I think convinced Josh was that I started typing out, and I just every week I would bring in a few more pages and a few more pages until we really had the whole thing in it. And I was able to just slap down, you know, 90 pages on his desk and we take a look at this. And I think that's what finally convinced him, maybe in many ways. He came on as sort of special effects guru originally.
Yeah, exactly.
And then just because he stuck around, I think, you know, he just got more and more involved and just couldn't help himself, I think, in many ways, because he became just as excited about the whole thing.
Josh told me all about it. Now, is that true that you get involved, that you started thinking?
It was interesting when Al came around with pitching the idea, because it was a great idea, but PATV was at a real transition where we were still shooting on tape and still doing standard definition, and we had this great green screen studio, and we were starting to get tapeless HD cameras. And I think we were just looking for something to give us that push into the future, I guess. And so when I saw that Al had written this 80-page script, and you know, there's a lot of great ideas around here, but a script is worth its weight in gold.
Exactly.
And so we did a read-through, and it just worked, you know. But then when he started bringing in pieces of the miniature of the aqua base, then I could really see in my mind's eye how this could actually work, and this is something I've got to be a part of. So
I think you know, as they're saying, you know, when I wrote it out, what I did was I said, you know what, I'm gonna write this and pretend like I'm Steven Spielberg or somebody, and I have $30 million to spend. I'm just gonna write this and not censor myself and worry about how it's gonna get done. I mean, I'm gonna write it on a smaller scale in that there's only a certain amount of people in it and a certain amount of sets in it.
But and you kind of knew you'd be playing the main role because you knew you'd always be there.
I would play the main role, not as an ego-driven thing, but just because I knew I could do it, and because, like he's saying, at least we'd always have one actor there.
Right. And you do a good job with that.
Thank you.
You are the character, and I'm serious. You are the character.
Well, I think everybody is, and you know, when we've cast people such as yourself, you know, we're really largely casting on just kind of personality, and we're bringing them into it, and just to be kind of themselves, a little, maybe like a heightened version of themselves.
You know what I mean? Right, exaggerate a little bit.
Maybe exaggerate, and that's what we've gotten from you. That's what we've gotten from Yale Cohen's, another guy who's into it.
Did a good job. Abasu, she did a good job.
Abasu is basically just kind of riffing on herself. Everybody is. And
she did a good job.
The thing is, and I think the other reason why I think Josh has had such a great time getting involved is that, you know, the whole project was very much designed with PATV in mind. And this sort of like democratic approach to creating a work of art where it wasn't easy at first, but I've gotten very used to letting go. And even though it is quote unquote my baby, letting go and like letting other people and just saying, you know what, I know how I would do this, but I don't have the expertise to do all this or the time or energy or resources to do all this on my own. So if you're gonna have other people helping you, you have to allow them to help you in the way that they want to help you. So you can't be sitting there telling them exactly what to do at every step of the way. And I found, as I've worked on this more and more, that that's the best way to do it, because then people like Josh get involved, A, and then B, let Josh just do his thing.
Oh,
And he's going to come up with something that's 10 times cooler when it's mixed with my stuff. You know what I mean? We make this kind of gumbo of
y'all did a good
cool
job.
stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
I will say the collaboration has been a really great experience. You know, working with you and combining our ideas, and the product seems to be bigger than the sum of its parts. I'd like to
without
think.
a doubt.
Absolutely.
So fun working on it.
Now, y'all working on part 3.
Right.
Y'all doing the part 3.
Yes.
How's it?
Yes.
Now, any
Part 3 is going good. We have, I would say we have probably 80% of part 3 shot.
Yeah.
There's only a few parts that we need actually left to shoot in the studio.
Okay.
We've been working on editing. We were just editing last Saturday for several hours and stuff, which is fun because that's when Josh and I just get to sit down at the computer and trust me, we do butt heads. We do have our disagreements and stuff, and I have to convince him of things sometimes. He has to convince me of things sometimes. But there's this mutual respect that we've built up over the years working with each other, that we're both willing to sort of, even when we get frustrated, I think we're both willing to sort of put our emotions on the shelf, listen to what the other guy is saying, and try to take on board as much of what they're saying until it sort of, and ultimately it always does sort of make sense, and we end up with something really cool.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
I agree.
Now, part 3, you think that's going to be out sometime this year?
Oh, yeah. Part 3, I think we're actually pretty close on. I would think on the scale of, early spring.
Early
would
spring?
hope. Yeah.
Good.
I think so. What do you think?
Yeah.
I'd say late spring, but
late spring. Yeah. Well, we always
but
had
his already,
bets,
man.
right?
But his, so then.
No, we have some cool stuff coming up in part 3. We've got,
Is the doctor around? Is he?
Is the doctor in part 3? I think the doctor is in part 3. Yeah, the doctor is in
part
part 3.
3.
Yeah. Remember the hallway scene we shot? That hasn't been out yet.
Oh,
so we've
okay.
got that
So
stuff.
doctor's still there, huh?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Doctor's still doing his thing.
We could, and we could. You're going to be around.
Really exciting stuff coming up in 3, and we get the sports book scene.
Okay.
Yes.
Which I don't know how much you want to say about that.
That's fine. We start to get more into sort of the idea with part 3 is that we're finally at this point where every time we've kind of built on the last part, made it a little cooler, and sort of filled in the blanks that weren't there, just because of the time and the expense and et cetera involved in making any of this kind of stuff, because you are creating this world from scratch.
Yes.
It's not like we can just go out and film anything from this.
Yeah. Sea monsters, for example.
So the sea monsters is what we're really kind of focusing on this time. And so the idea is we're sort of in the process of brainstorming, designing some puppets, and we're going to get some monsters going.
Oh, I love it.
Have them fighting and have the people betting on that.
Wow, man. You should put a scene when the doctor get involved, do some kung fu, do a little fighting with the
Do a little fighting?
Yeah,
we can do that. Nice.
Well,
there is some kung fu in it, too. I guess we can say that.
Okay, really?
Oh, yeah.
And one of our actors is a Taekwondo black belt, and so there is a scene where he actually has some hand-to-hand combat. Dr. Stewart has some hand-to-hand combat with the tentacles.
So with the tentacles.
It's going to be quite the thing to see.
Okay.
The whole thing is like, like I was saying earlier, it's like when I was writing this thing, I had a list of things too where it's like, okay, you know what? This is, sort of going off the presumption that this is going to be the only movie I make my whole life.
Well, you never know.
You never know, but just pretending like this is it.
Okay.
This is my one shot at this.
Okay.
So everything I wanted, I crammed in there as far as like monsters, lasers, robots, spaceships, space stations, models, lava lamps,
and you got some scenes and some kissing
kung
scenes
fu
in there.
and
dancing,
dancing,
kissing.
yeah.
Oh my
great
goodness,
music,
man.
I think.
Yeah, we've had a lot
really
of
great audio.
Again, we've had a lot of local artists that have come forward and just said. Been very cool and just been like, here is some music. We put out calls for music and got stuff back, and it's amazing how it slots in and fits, and everybody.
Wow. I can't believe when the soundtrack comes out. That's going to be a nice
absolutely
thing.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah,
that'll be fun. We have a video from Control down in Fairfield. We did Jason Smith here at the station did a video.
Made us like a music video, like an 80s style music video, where the footage from the movie's up on the TV screen, like in the. Or wait, no. The band is on the TV screen inside the movie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I've seen that in part 2. I love it. I've seen it. It's a beautiful thing. I love it. I love the music. The music that little one song that Jason Smith did the video for.
Right.
And added.
Yes.
That was a good thing. That was I like the music. So hopefully that group can.
So you were saying that you got recognized.
I did get recognized. Yes, I got recognized at work.
Nice.
And somebody said. Wait a minute. He said, you come and go, yeah, weren't you in the... I started saying, no, that's my twin brother, but no, but... no, but I said, no, yeah.
And you say you saw Kim come in one night?
Yeah, I saw Kim. I saw Kim, one of the leads. I said, girl, man, you look familiar. Where have I seen you from? And I said, wait, do you know Al?
Yeah.
He said, yeah. I'm in. Girl, that's where I remember. That's recognized you in the movie Moon 03. He said,
Was she speaking in a British accent?
Yes, she was.
Yeah, she came in and she
was.
She's another one that's just come in and just surpassed our wildest dreams.
Oh my goodness, y'all! I mean, you have some.
Both and her and there's another gal named Alejandra Robel.
Yeah, she did a good job.
Was in it.
Some great female characters.
Some great female characters, strong characters.
And they've been in, and they've been some of the ones that really have jumped in feet first and just have loved, got it right away, and just have come in. And I think I remember I met Alejandra a couple times, but the first day of shooting, within 10 minutes, we had our kissing scene.
Wow, that's a dirty job, man.
I know.
That's a dirty job, man. Somebody had to do that. That was a rough job.
Unpaid.
That was fun. Yeah, and just but it's like I think it was. It's like everybody wants to make a movie. You know, everybody wants to make a movie. And especially, I think all we've really had to do is demonstrate that we're serious and that we're dedicated.
Yeah, and it's a
to
quality
the final
movie.
product.
It's a quality movie.
And we'd be able to get some people in that maybe normally wasn't people like AC Earl.
Right. Yep. AC Earl.
We were talking about Dan Coffey.
Oh,
he used to be a local. Who was kind of a local guy, Dr. Science.
Yeah.
Both those guys have PATV connections too.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
They did a good job. Did an excellent job. Yale did a good job in the movie. Talking.
Right. Yale as the bad guy.
Yeah.
Is perfect.
Yeah.
He's pitch perfect as just the arrogant, sort of baddie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think a lot of the people have been drawn to it just to the sci-fi. I mean, even though it's very funny and humorous, I think we both grew up steeped in sci-fi. We're practically lousy with it.
Yeah, right.
So
exactly.
it's got all the right gods. It's got references to Star Trek and Star Wars and Doctor Who and This Island Earth and
This Island Earth, and then another big one was Silent Running. Did you mention Silent Running?
No.
That was a big one.
And I see some of the 70s Godzilla stuff.
Oh,
the
yes,
psychedelic ones.
Exactly.
Godzilla versus the Smog
So
Monster.
we try to do the sci-fi for real. Like we try to do it seriously,
Exactly.
even though it's models and 60 style miniatures, I suppose. But
all of the stuff, and we were saying, sometimes with you, we had, and you not have been the only one. Everybody that's come in has had some line or some paragraph that they had to say. Yeah. That's basically complete gobbledygook.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But your character had to explain it all.
I know.
And your character had the hardest dialogue of
Oh,
all.
my goodness,
That's
man.
what was so funny about the whole thing was that you really have to sit there and it's just line after line after line of stuff that on the surface of it doesn't make any sense.
It don't.
But like Josh was saying, internally the logic follows.
Okay.
So it's like any kind of science fiction world that you create, we have known from watching good science fiction and bad science fiction that the laws have to make sense within that world.
Okay.
They have to follow that world.
Okay.
So, for instance, if you're doing a zombie movie, they either have to be fast zombies or slow zombies.
Okay.
If you're doing a science fiction movie, it's like they either have to have speed of light travel or they can't have speed of light travel.
Okay.
But you have to make those laws clear, and then you have to follow your own internal laws,
That's what y'all do.
Right, and so Moon 03, although everything you're saying is basically gobbledygook, a nerd or somebody that's into it can go back and trace everything you're saying, and you never actually contradict yourself, or everything you make sense. It makes sense with the visuals we're presenting and stuff like that. So that was very important to me as a fan of science fiction.
Well, y'all did it. Like I said, y'all did a great job. We got a couple of minutes. We got the interview was we
went fast.
Yeah,
we'll do
fast.
another one.
We'll have to do another one when it comes out next year.
We could let you know if we were thinking about some screenings leading up to part 3.
Okay, that's
so
what I'm saying.
maybe we'll show part 2 maybe in the early spring, and then part 3
that could be fun.
So are y'all going to still maybe do a big screening at the Mill again?
We could do the Mill. I just was talking to some folks at the Deadwood. I don't have permission from the big owner, but everybody else was very receptive to that. So maybe the Deadwood too.
But the Mill wrote us back. They said, "When's part 3?"
Yes.
The Mill made some money.
Y'all think y'all do a good job.
We did all right.
I'm gonna try to get off of that day because I like to.
Absolutely.
I know you come in there.
I want you to, because you gotta get the love that you get. You need to soak that in. You know what I mean? Because you worked hard on this.
Every
that.
scene you got applause when you.
Oh yeah.
It was
they
great.
Loved it.
Well, I'm gonna give you your money next time, man, when I see you. But anyway, I mean, look, it was wonderful having you.
Absolutely.
You're working. You're in school. You graduate.
I am in school. I'm
year.
getting my special ed degree. I'm going to start my student teaching here in January.
Amen.
So I do this. This has all been done in my spare time in between work and school. So just want to, the folks at home, just incorporate, you can incorporate art into your own life in any kind of scale you can. It's going to enrich your life. Come on down to PATV if you have any kind of idea like that. These folks are great.
We promote PATV. I want to say, hey, Al, man. Thank you again, man.
Thank you.
I want you back on the show again, man.
I want you back in Moon 03.
We're going to do that.
1 or 2 more times.
Thank you again for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Director,
anytime.
special effects, man. Both of y'all are
we
great
co-direct,
people. Co-direct, y'all do a good job.
Absolutely.
Moon 03, it's a good thing. we want everybody to check out Moon 03. If you haven't seen Moon 03 Part 2 on PATV Channel 18, just go down there and just look at Moon 03 Part 2 and Part 1.
Also on PATV.tv.
Okay, look up the internet. Okay. It's on YouTube as well.
On YouTube and that. And let us know what you think about it. Come down and use facilities, get involved in doing the programming. We want to promote PATV because it's a great thing for everybody. Diversity is what we try to do here.
We can teach the public how to do this a little bit at a time, too.
Sure.
Okay,
yeah,
well,
absolutely.
This the Miniseries. This is right here. So, hey, Moon 03 is coming out again, part 3
yeah, we're going to keep cranking them out.
We're going to crack them out. Pretty soon, a feature film one of these days, you never know.
At the end, yep, it'll all be sort of edited together.
It'll probably be a part 4 that we have to get under our belt, and then we'll figure out how that becomes a 2-hour plus movie or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all want to give a shout out to anybody?
Just want to thank everybody from Bill Albert on down that's believed in the project from the very beginning, and you know, there's just too many people to thank. But I would just say, go to Moon 03, watch it, and look at those end credits because those will say it all. But just each and every person that's been supportive.
It's been a great community.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Josh,
yeah, just thanks to everybody that helped, and especially thanks to PATV for making this a mini-series that's our own, basically, and thanks to Al for bringing it for us.
Definitely, and thanks for Al. Now,
thanks to you for doing such a great job.
Well, thank you for letting me be involved, and I'm honored again. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank everybody out there watching the LyleStyle show. I want to thank my beautiful girl, Kathy. I love you. Thank you for supporting me and doing my thing. And someone just got married. Who was that just got married?
This guy right over here.
This guy right here.
Yeah. Earlier this
right
year.
Here just got congratulations on
that,
man.
So
we want to wrap it. The producer said, "I got to wrap it up." So I want to say, y'all keep watching PATV. Until now, keep styling the profile. We see you next time. We out of here.
What's this about the station sinking?
You're familiar with tidal forces. Not only Gillis, but the moons around Gillis exert a massive gravitational pull on the moon the size of 03 that constantly keeps the ocean waters churning violently. It so happens that of the 37 moons, 29 of them are presently in opposition to 03. The resulting compounding tidal forces have been amplified by this exponentially. What this means is any severe weather patterns on the surface of Moon 03 right now are going to be more severe. On our section of the moon, they will be the worst due to the fact that we sit on the extreme polar opposite with respect to this phenomenon.
Okay, so a power grid failure, loss of shields. I mean, how is this going to affect the Aquabase?
Well, look, and Mike can help me out with this. Moon 03 is a Type 7 gravity beam supported living operational platform base with a company facility.
Geodesic biopods, crew habitat level. Core boards, obelisk, science and engineering. Pleasure deck.
Operations are concentrated up here.
Command center. Tranya refinery.
You have your filtering devices for harvesting tranya, forming the support structure of the center columns. This culminates just under the surface of the water with the collection cells and the graviton laser. This laser shoots a beam down into the depths of the ocean, which is focused to form the protective upper concussion shields in the graviton ball that supports and directly counterbalances the entire mass of the upper portion of the station.
Yeah, the laser holds us up and stabilizes us at the same time.
Yeah. Okay.
Take a look at this.